Got one question for you folks. Have you seen it? I'm sure you must have done. You must have done, surely. Well, if not, I'm going to tell you anyway. Now, I often give you tips on what I've watched, be it film, series, comedy, drama, whatever it may be, and the odd song I've listened to. If I find a gem anywhere that you might not have seen or heard, I mention it to you. Some of you take advantage of it, some of you don't. It's up to you. This one I think more of you may have seen, but just in case you've not, and it only started last night, you need to watch it. You must watch it. What's it called? Oh, Mr. Bates versus the Post Office. It's the story of all the postmasters and mistresses that had been done by the Post Office and taken to court and what have you, lost their jobs, and they were trying to get lots and lots of money off. All down to massive computer software cock-ups. Nothing down to the postmasters, mistresses at all. It's been going on for 15, 16, 17 years this now. I think the Post Office have finally been found guilty for prosecuting and attempting to prosecute those that have done nothing wrong, for fraud and for theft and false accounting. They even sent one fella to prison. Anyway, the first one was on last night. Excellent. Brilliant, brilliant drama. I think we've got potentially a nominee, possibly a winner for drama series and some acting. Honestly, I think when they hand the old awards out late on in the year, I think this will be up there with the best of them. Absolutely fantastic. Give you a bit of background on it. I heard something today. It was on one of the morning shows. They had old Mr. Bates on. No pun intended. No pun intended. The real Mr. Bates. Seemingly over about a 15, 16 year period, 700 of them have been prosecuted or threatened with prosecution. Many had lost their jobs. Many of them have paid back money that they shouldn't have paid back because they'd done nothing wrong. They had to remortgage houses and the lot. All down, as I say, to glitches in the computer software that the Post Office provided. And it's saying since it all kicked off in the late 1990s, I think it was, they've had 4 suicides linked to all the cases. And I think he also said they've had 60 people that have died since it all kicked off whilst they're waiting compensation. Well, he said, in fact, they're calling it compensation. It's not really compensation. It's what they were all owed. It's what they were all owed. It's wages and everything else, and it's monies that they've paid the Post Office they shouldn't have paid because they'd done no wrong. But they should obviously get that and compensation in my mind. And he said even now, the Post Office, the government, everybody's dragging their heels. They've said time and again the compensation is going to be paid out quickly. The government said the money's there to pay them all out, but it still isn't getting paid. They're saying that the lawyers on behalf of the Post Office and the government are just holding things up all the time. But it's an absolutely shocking case, I promise you. If you get a chance, if you've not watched it, you must, honestly, you really must. I'm sure if you've watched it, you'll join me in saying it's brilliant. It's really, really good. You don't realise what some of those people went through. And I'll tell you now, sometimes a drama doesn't do reality any justice. We've seen bits before on the TV about, pardon me, we've seen the postmasters on the steps there after court hearings and after they've been prosecuted, or after, more importantly, more recently, after they've won in court and they've won the case. But you've not realised what they actually really went through until you've seen it in drama form. And when you see it in drama form there, it really hits you as to how bad it was. You know, it's frightening what's happened to people. You know, it's awful. Many have really good character, no previous history of any kind of wrongdoings at all. You know, branded in their own communities as thieves and whatever else. You know, it's an awful thing, absolutely awful. But if you've not watched it, you must. It was started on ITV last night. I think it's on again tonight. It might be on over 3 or 4 nights. And then there might be a true story at the end of the actual people that were involved in it all. They do that regularly on ITV now. And I think on ITVX, I believe it can all be watched and all can be downloaded or whatever you do on there straight away, I believe. Anyway, that's it from me on this one.